So today I'll be showing you the smallest apartment that currently exists in New York City. Check this out. Yep, this is real. This exists. This is very real. It's 9 by 6. This is real. You got a closet. It's real, but no space for anything besides a bed. Okay, but in reality, all jokes aside, in college, whatever Bumbletown you were going to college in, you were probably paying $1,200 at least for the dorms there. You were not paying to live in New York City, that's for sure. So the unit might be small and very unsightly, but at the end of the day, for what you're paying, you get to live your life in New York City. Every unit in the building is like this, by the way. Here's the shared bathroom. If you're interested in this, don't hesitate to reach out, but don't reach out.
Yeah, for just $1,200, you too could live in the pod and share a crapper with 20 other people. Welcome back, beautiful and amazing human beings. My name's Luke Radowski here of WeAreChange.org, and there's a lot of absolutely crazy, wild, and bewildering news to get into today, as of course, domestically, things are not all right inside of the United States, and internationally, they're just as crazy, just as insane as, of course, the bears are coming in, and we are sadly very unprepared for the very turbulent times ahead as the American people are ripping each other apart over petty, superficial differences. We're going to be talking about that, plus a lot more, all here on this independent media organization. If you like the shirt that I'm wearing, you could get it on thebestpoliticalshirts.com. And the clip that we played in the beginning of this broadcast was originally shared on Twitter from I'm Meme-O, who either repurposed this from another uploader or who knows, was in the crap hole city known as New York, which I kind of doubt here because this person who originally filmed this was talking about how wonderful it is to live in New York City. And as a man who has grown up there since the 90s, that is an absolute lie. It is a crap hole filled with junkies, crackheads, drug addicts, derelicts, hippies, yupsters, fart smellers, blue armpit hair, flip-flop wearing, Starbucks drinking softies, and tourists who do not know how to walk in that city at all. Trust me, there is a reason nearly 500,000 people left New York in 2022 and headed towards brighter pastures like Second Amendment friendly and tax haven places like Florida and Texas. As personally, I was one of those individuals who left. I am never coming back. I never want to come back. As anyone with any kind of sense of logic clearly sees all the writing on the walls that are also filled with pee and graffiti, that this woke, indoctrinated, cult-like city that has absolutely been hijacked by some very nefarious individuals is absolutely no place to be, as of course criminals run free. You defend yourself, you go to jail. And that's the story in major leftist democratic cities all throughout the United States that have implemented a billionaire's district attorney plan that essentially is prosecuting people because of their political beliefs and ideologies. This as some major corporate chains like CVS, now in major cities like in Washington, D.C., have put away most of their items and are just showing a photograph of it in order to prevent the mass looting and theft that happens inside of them. This as some shoppers are waiting as long as 40 minutes just to get some of the items that are locked up from the people there because of the gross criminality, as even Tide Pods aren't safe from the average consumer since all the runaway crime, poverty, and looting that is being incentivized by corrupted government officials that are backed by a billionaire who we can't even mention here on this particular broadcast, as even in Oakland, one of these district attorneys just had her car burglarized and had her laptop stolen and windows broken into, as just a few weeks ago she was mocking people for saying that the city that she was running wasn't, quote, safe. This as a lot of woke things are finally getting recalled and called out for just how absolutely horrible they are, as of course the U.S. military is also very woke as well, as they're literally trying to start a campaign with the number 1 and number 2 energy producers on the world stage. We're going to talk about that in a little bit, as of course, there are some very serious, troubling times ahead of us. And that's why I think it's more important than ever to take care of yourself during these troubling times. And one reason why I launched WeAreChange dotshop, a line of our own health supplements that I personally take, that I personally like. I only have the products that I take myself, because I want to make sure I actually sell something that I personally believe in. One of these items we're also running out of stock. I'm not going to tell you which one, but we have a lot of really great offers. To me, the best one is Calm, and this is our full spectrum 1,000 milligram hemp extract that really does help a lot of people who deal with inflammation, stress, anxiety. If you have a hard time sleeping, this has helped other individuals with that as well. Magnesium glycinate, another great supplement, especially when it comes to dealing with all of those things and womanly issues. And of course, then for the males, we have essential fatty and the chill pill, which are really great for helping your testosterone, heart, and brain health. Again, I'm not a medical professional. I'm not a medical doctor. These are just some of the things that I personally take, that I personally like, that I personally back. Make sure to do your own homework, to do your own research. Whenever you click on whatever product we sell here, we made sure to have an informational video about that product, its rewards, its risks, what you should look out for, if you should take it, if you should not take it. Check out those videos, as well as do not forget to do your own due diligence when it comes to taking anything inside of your own personal body. Do your blood work. Make sure you talk to a medical professional. Make sure you're making the right decisions for yourself. And that's something that, of course, I discuss a lot on lukeunfiltered.com, where we are going to have a second video right after this one, specifically about some issues that we cannot discuss here on this broadcast. But seriously, when it comes to supplementation, make sure you're making the right decisions for yourself as an individual. This is something that we keep talking about on lukeunfiltered.com. You have to be an informed consumer, and you have to make sure you're making the right decisions for yourself as an individual, because if you're not doing that, what are you doing? Take care of yourself. You're going to need to, especially in the very troubling times ahead of us, as of course, this is a time that many people are memeing or making fun of, and it's either that or you cry. And I think we should try to laugh during these very difficult times, as it's only expected to get more difficult from here. As, let's just be honest here, the United States is not on the best footing here. As within recent years, the U.S. military has gone woke and is trying to fill out DEI and BlackRock's ESG social credit score systems to the point where they have pushed out a lot of, actual masculine men that used to fill the roles of U.S. military personnel that are now being replaced by individuals who aren't even signing up for the U.S. military. As of course, the few individuals that used to do it, they're literally told by the U.S. military, yeah, you're no longer accepted. We want woke individuals who, of course, are usually too mentally ill or disabled or morbidly obese to serve in the U.S. military, which, again, is not a great marketing strategy here, as military recruitment has hit a new all-time low, as within the last 3 to 4 years, a lot of very important military personnel was kicked out because of a very discriminatory medical procedure that the U.S. military demanded everyone take, and if they didn't, they got kicked out. As major significant hardware and supplies from the United States government has been sent to Ukraine, to the point where there are many reports of the United States government having a hard time actually resupplying all those important elements it needs for the military that it has sent to Ukraine to fight off the Russians. All of this is happening as the United States also is becoming geopolitically opposed and saber-rattling against the number 1 and 2 energy producers in the entire world, specifically Russia and Iran. Now, a military that doesn't have enough military recruits, that lost some of its best personnel, that doesn't have the right equipment to go into a full-on fledged conflict, now saber-rattling and escalating tensions to bring us towards a conflict with the places in the world that produce the most amount of energy on the world, energy that's needed to fight conflicts, is an absolutely stupid, detrimental idea that, of course, is not in the best interest of the American government, its interests, and its people. Let's just be honest here. What we have been seeing within the last few weeks, especially when it comes to the top brass of the U.S. military, is not reassuring and highlights a very dangerous, precarious situation that some would even go as far to say is deliberately sabotaging the United States in a way that's not advantageous to anyone other than individuals who might want to see the demise of the American empire on the world stage. This, as it's pretty clear, the United States does not have its priorities straight, as the current Assistant Secretary of Health is now tackling medical refugee misinformation. Yeah, that's what we're focused on here. That's what the American resources and tax dollars are going towards, as I would have to agree with the former president of the United States and say that the United States is absolutely more vulnerable than ever, especially when it comes to attacks that might come inside of the nation, as the threats are not only geopolitically opposed to us in the Middle East and in Europe, but also specifically with an open border policy here within the United States, with essentially so many people just being able to walk into the United States. This puts us in a very precarious, dangerous situation that the current ruling elites are putting us in. Why are they doing that? Why are American borders open and the best and greatest military technology is currently in Israel securing their borders? Is a question that many Americans are asking themselves, as of course the tensions inside of the Middle East are escalating as Israeli troops are now on the ground inside of Gaza with the next phase of the conflict that is unfolding right there in the region. As recently, 2.3 million Palestinians have been cut off from the rest of the world, as we are hearing other reports that the United States is actually the country that has told Israel to turn on water and connectivity to the Gaza region after it originally cut it off. This, as it looks like Israeli forces are advancing on Gaza City from two sides of the region, as many international aid organizations are talking about how Gaza is at a, quote, breaking point, as of course the humanitarian cost of this entire conflict is extremely vast. It's very big, and creating a very vicious cycle where only history is going to be repeating itself and creating more problems, all in the guise of allegedly solving them, as Israel has officially rejected a ceasefire in the region and is continuing very aggressive military operations in a very heavily civilian territory, where some news reports and organizations are even blaming the very heavy-handed response to the demise of a German-Israeli citizen who we're hearing a lot of conflicting reports on. The original story was that she passed away during the Hamas attack on Israel. Then we heard that she was alive. Now we hear that she sadly is no longer with us. The media organizations who favor Palestine are saying that she passed away because of a aggressive Israeli military bombardment on the region that affected her, while news organizations that are more favorable to Israel are now saying that she passed away because of barbaric treatment from Hamas that brutally ended her existence. Now, who do you believe here? Well, it's going to depend on what side you're actually on. What's the actual truth of what really happened here? Who knows, as of course truth is the biggest casualty of war. This, as the United States is sending a lot of very significant military hardware into the region and preparing for an escalating conflict, as many countries, including Syria, including Lebanon, including Iran, including even Saudi Arabia and Turkey, could soon all be involved in a very serious conflict that some people have compared to, of course, the end of times. Now, is that going to happen here? Well, there are nuclear weapons involved here. There is a vicious cycle that has been going on for a very long time. How do you end this cycle? How do you stop this madness? Well, I think, first of all, we have to be brave enough to speak out against it and to speak for its de-escalation, ceasefires, negotiations, detente, and a way of stopping this madness from creating more horrors that you can't even personally imagine. Again, war is absolutely brutal. I don't care what side you're on. I have always been principally anti-war, and that's a stance that I will always have. I wish a lot of fellow alternative media personalities would also just have the scruples to stand behind larger ideas and not flip-flop on them because of a particular side. But I don't care what side you are on. I think it's fair to say that the innocence should be preserved here at all costs. If you agree with me, Share this video with your friends and family members. If you disagree with me, let me know your best arguments against what I just said now down in the comment section below. I got one more video coming your way about some really spicy issues that we cannot discuss here on this particular platform. So we're going to discuss it on my platform, a platform that I built, that we're growing, that we're expanding, all on LukeUnfiltered.com. See you there right after this one. I love you guys. Stay tuned for more here on WeAreChange.org.